Welcome back. Today we're diving into a deep dive sports commentary on Ohio State's huge 27-9 win over Michigan.
A massive one.
Yeah, a streak breaker for Ryan Day. The listener wants to create a really high-impact piece, so let's get right into the feedback.
Okay.
So the material, it does a great job of setting up the stakes. You know, this is Day's big moment. It erases that one really painful blemish on his record.
It's positioned as this huge redemption arc, which is definitely the right emotional frame.
Exactly.
But to really maximize the impact here, I think the analysis would benefit from anchoring everything around a single thesis. That Ohio State's emotional redemption was a direct result of their physical dominance.
Okay, so you're saying link those two things more explicitly. Because right now, I see the emotional story and I see the tactical breakdown, but they do feel a little separate.
They're running on parallel tracks, and that dilutes the main point. The piece sort of oscillates between celebrating Day's personal win and then, analyzing Michigan's collapse.
And that separation is the weakness?
I think so. It doesn't fully exploit how Ohio State dominated physically as the reason why Day succeeded emotionally and tactically. One is a nice story, the other has a powerful statement about the program he's built.
Right. The strategy becomes the engine for the emotion, not just something happening in the background.
Precisely. So the suggestion is to focus the whole thing through the lens of Ohio State's mastery at the point of attack.
Make the physical victory the mechanism for everything else.
Yes, show the audience that the muscle made the magic happen. That elevates it from just commentary on one game to something bigger about the rivalry's future.
So how do we do that? How do we make that thesis stick right from the beginning?
You start with the most concrete fact you have. Ohio State outrushed Michigan 186-100.
Okay.
And the material itself gives you the anchor. That 24-year streak where the team that rushes for more yards wins the game.
That's a huge stat.
It is. So don't just treat it like a statistic. Make it the structural backbone of the entire analysis. It's your proof of concept. Physical control is this rivalry.
So every other point, passing, defense, it all has to flow from that rushing advantage.
Exactly. You structure it to show how that ground dominance, with Bo Jackson's 117 yards, is what freed up Julian Sayin.
The quarterback.
Right. He throws for 233 yards and 3 touchdowns, even after that early pick. You have to connect those dots. The passing game, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate shining, that wasn't an accident.
It was a consequence of the run game.
It stemmed directly from the physical control Ohio State established. The ground game wasn't just another thing they did well, it was the foundation that cracked Michigan open.
That reframing is much more powerful. It's not just they were strong, it's their strength was the key that unlocked everything.
And it means Day's redemption isn't just him getting over a mental hurdle. It's proof that he fundamentally changed his program's DNA to solve this one specific problem.
That's a fantastic way to unify it. Okay, so let's shift gears to the Michigan side of things. The material has a pretty detailed losers section. It's got some sharp critiques of Chip Lindsey's conservative offense, Bryce Underwood's bad day, the defense getting exposed.
Yeah, the points are all there. But the tactical critique of Michigan's performance could be so much stronger if it moved away from that scorecard style, the whole winners-losers thing.
To more of a cause and effect structure.
Exactly.
I can see why a writer might do that, though. Compartmentalizing things can make complex tactics easier for a reader to digest.
It can, but for a deep dive piece aiming for high-impact insight, I think the separation actually hurts it. It suggests Michigan just sort of failed on their own.
Instead of being forced to fail.
Right. By putting all of Michigan's failures in a separate bucket, you miss this huge opportunity to show how Ohio State's execution manufactured those failures. It reads more like a report card than an interconnected breakdown of a coaching masterclass.
So the suggestion is to show the strategic chokehold that Day's plan put on them?
Yes, seamlessly weave it all together. The Ohio State successes with the Michigan failures. You want the reader to walk away thinking Day just completely outcoached Sharon Moore.
Okay, so give me a concrete example. How could the listener integrate that?
Okay, for starters, when you talk about Ohio State's defense holding Michigan to just 127 total yards after that first drive, you immediately pivot to how that forced Chip Lindsey into that conservative shell. Bryce Underwood, their huge recruit, only throws the ball 5 times in the first half.
So it wasn't just that Lindsay was conservative, it's that Ohio State's defense made him conservative.
Exactly. You're showing that Ohio State's dominance dictated Michigan's game plan. It turned the nation's #1 recruit into, as the notes say, an expensive accessory. That's a strategic knockout.
And you can do the same thing on the other side of the ball, I assume, connecting Ohio State's offense to Michigan's defense failing.
Absolutely. You connect Ohio State's incredible success rate on 3rd down. What was it, 10 of 17?
Yeah, phenomenal.
You connect that directly to the systemic failure of Michigan's defense. The piece notes they couldn't get pressure. Well, why? Because the rushing game was working, the offensive line was winning, and that left the secondary completely exposed.
Like on that 35-yard touchdown to Jeremiah Smith?
Perfect example. Show the reader that those long, sustained drives were the mechanism that just wore down and broke that defense.
And that goes right back to the first critique. 3rd down success is the ultimate proof of line of scrimmage dominance.
It is. And then you bring in the knockout punch stat that the material has. Ohio State had a 20-minute advantage in time of possession.
Wow.
When you integrate all these points, that massive edge in possession time isn't just a random number anymore. The audience sees it as the direct result of Michigan's offense getting suffocated and their defense getting gashed.
The narrative shifts from Michigan played poorly to Ohio State systematically dismantled them.
Yes, and suddenly that final score feels like an absolute inevitability.
That's the goal. Let's move to the 3rd area, the emotional context. The details in the piece are really strong here.
Incredibly strong.
You know, Day saying his previous losses were the worst days of his life. The death threats, needing armed guards at his home. The drama is all there.
The foundation is absolutely there. But while the material outlines the stakes, I think the pacing could be adjusted to really build the suspense and maximize that cathartic release of the victory.
What's the weakness in the delivery right now? Is it just moving past the bad stuff too quickly?
A little bit. It mentions the gravity of it all, the pariah status, the backlash, but it does it factually and then kind of quickly moves on to the score. And that speed, it risks underselling the enormous, life-altering weight that was on him. The audience needs to feel the depth of that pit he was in to truly appreciate the climb out.
And that's a hard thing to write about, right? You don't want to sound overly dramatic when you're talking about things as serious as death threats over a football game.
That's exactly why the pacing has to be so intentional. The suggestion is to leverage that extreme negative context.
The armed guards, the calamitous setback.
Yes. Use that as the deliberate setup. It creates a spring-like tension so that when you get to the win with humility and the snow angels, it feels like a really profound and deliberate emotional counterpoint.
So how do we build that drama without it just turning into a biography of Ryan Day?
You start the emotional section by outlining the lows. And be specific. Mention the F. Ryan Day chants. Mention the fact he needed armed guards at his house.
Don't shy away from it?
No, lean into it. Create that vivid, immediate tension. Then use that dark setup to give more meaning to the 11 straight wins by 15+ points leading into this game. It's not just the winning streak anymore.
It's the team's response, their resolve.
It's a siege breaking. And then the payoff is the humility and victory.
Which is a great contrast.
It's the most powerful point. Focus heavily on Day's post-game restraint. The material notes he chose to win with humility. You have to contrast the Michigan flag plant from last year with the Buckeyes intentionally making snow angels instead of retaliating.
Ah, that's a brilliant visual.
It is. By spending more narrative time on that specific choice, the critique proves the team took the rivalry back, not just on the scoreboard, but by redefining its character. It's an act of supreme confidence.
That's excellent. Okay, let's do a quick recap of those high-level points for our listener.
Sounds good. We focused on 3 main areas to maximize the impact. First, unify the entire critique around that core thesis of physical dominance.
Show that the rushing superiority was the strategic key that unlocked everything else for Ohio State.
Second, ditch the winners-losers scorecard. Integrate the analysis to show cause and effect. Show the reader how Ohio State forced Michigan's tactical failures.
Right. Winning the line of scrimmage, owning 3rd down, leading to that huge time of possession advantage.
And finally, refine the pacing on the emotional arc. Really leverage the extreme lows of days' past struggles to make the eventual, humble victory feel that much more profound.
That symbolism of the snow angels as the ultimate answer.
Exactly.
This is great, actionable feedback. So, integrate these suggestions, really weave those threads together into one powerful narrative, and send it back to us. We are really looking forward to seeing the next version.